Senior players like Gavaskar, they used to fight with the cricket board by fees badao. World Cup was for us, it was a disaster. अपने बम्बई अजावन में कहते हैं सबको कीड़ा होता है क्रिकेट खेलने का
Right.
वो हम में भी था.
नवाब साहब का जो कैप्टनसी था, how was that?
I played under a lot of captains. Sunil Gavaskar, Venkat Raghavan, Bishan Singh Bedi. Tiger was the best ever to me.
Right.
And even for Indian cricket. The India team, we never knew how to play one-day cricket. First World Cup in 75 in England. Once we played our first match against England, and they scored, something like 334 runs. And it was so difficult, for our team because there was no game plan, there was no strategy, there was nothing. In those 60 overs, Sunil Gavaskar played out all 60 overs and he remained not out on 36.
Hello there everyone, welcome to another episode of Catch Up with Kiara, and today we are going to talk about a sport which everyone loves. Can you guess what it is? It is cricket. Cricket is not just a sport for people, it's beyond that. It's like a religion. And today I'm honored to speak with a true pioneer, a true legend of this sport. Can you guess who it is? It is none other than Mr. Karsan Ghavri, sir. So firstly, welcome on Catch Up with Kiara.
Thank you so much to have me here for the show, and I'm really pleased to be with you.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. So firstly, sir, you have been in this, you were the first, you were one of the first fortunate players to be part of the very first World Cup, and you've known cricket for over 5 decades. So I think everyone wants to know कि आप cricket, आपका passion cricket ही था पहले, or you were pursuing something else before entering cricket?
I was very keen and interested right from the beginning of my school days. And जैसे अपने बम्बई अजावन में कहते हैं सबको कीड़ा होता है क्रिकेट खेलने का
Right.
वो हम में भी था. तो गलियों में खेलते थे, रास्तों पे खेलते थे टेनिस बॉल से.
Right.
फिर स्कूल में गए तो वहाँ पर ये सारी सुविधाएं थी कि जहाँ पर सीजन बॉल से क्रिकेट खेलना मिलता था. तो normally, actual cricket, started from the street, and then it took me to the school.
Okay.
And from there on, we started playing, better and better cricket. School days like Kuch Bihar Trophy and all that, under 16, under 19. And slowly and steadily, we graduated ourselves only in cricket, not in studies. So,
I think that's the tendency every sports person has.
So this is how it started. And when I was 16, 17, and I was selected, for All India school team, which toured Australia. That was in 68, 69. And we had a 2-month tour of on that trip to Australia. And from that group, we had 4 test players, then later on played for India.
Right.
Like Brijesh Patel, Mohinder Amanath, Surinder Amanath, myself. So 4 of us, we represented India later on, in the test matches.
Right.
Well, you just, talked about 75 World Cup, right? Well, World Cup was for us, it was a disaster because at that time, we as an India team, we never knew how to play one-day cricket because there was hardly any one-day tournaments in India.
Right.
Though, they had, one tournament in Mumbai that was called, Talim Shield, it used to be played 50 over matches. But you see, the one tournament is not enough. So we were not used to playing, too much of one-day matches. And the first World Cup in 75 in England was of 60 overs. And once we reached there, once we played our first match against England, and they scored, something like 334 runs in 60 overs. And it was so difficult, for our team, whether we can make it or not. But we never tried because there was no game plan, there was no strategy, there was nothing.
Right.
And if everybody remembers, in those 60 overs, Sunil Gavaskar played out all 60 overs and he remained not out on 36.
Wow.
And of course, we lost the match, very badly. We lost almost every game except, the one game in Yorkshire at Headingley. We won against Kenya.
Right.
So Kenya was the weakest team, at that time. And the those days, the people used to think even India is the weakest team. But unfortunately, we didn't perform well in the first World Cup. Even in 1979, second World Cup also, we did the same.
Right.
So I think, the 79 onwards, 83 World Cup was a very, very important, very so much of, remarkable that, the team won the World Cup under Kapil Dev's leadership.
Right.
And all the players, they all contributed right from the first game till the final. And that winning of World Cup, that transformation has come into the Indian
That is
cricket. And the Indian players, as well as, the viewers or the audience, they started believing in our players. This is, if you can win the World Cup, you can win any time, against any attack,
Right.
or against any team. So 1983 World Cup was a key time, for Indian cricket, and that has transformed the cricket over the period of time.
Good.
Even till today, we are not looking back.
But do you think it has elevated that 1983 World Cup might have elevated cricket in India?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, as you said that y'all were a disaster probably in 1975 World Cup, but sometimes failing is very important. What do you want to say ki, failing zaruri hota hai for any sports person or any person actually?
Yes. Well, see, success and failure, it happens to every field. But at least, in the game of cricket, you get a second chance.
Right.
But if you keep on, repeating the mistakes, then you don't deserve to be there.
Okay.
So I think, we made a lot of mistakes in 75 World Cup. We made a lot of mistakes in 79 World Cup. Then 83 onward, as I said earlier, that made all the changes. And the players, started believing in themselves.
Right.
So thinking that, if we can beat, Australia, or if we can beat West Indies or England or any
Right.
team, we can do well. And since then, I think, there were a lot of, encouragement, from BCCI, the Cricket Control Board of India. Those days in 75 and 79, hardly people used to get allowance, or the match fees were 500 rupees a day.
Wow.
And
God.
today, it is so different because probably I think IPL made a big, transformation into Indian cricket, as like 1983 team did. The IPL has done,
Absolutely.
even
It's made a
better.
huge difference.
Yeah. So today's, cricketer, of course, they get money. When we were playing, there were hardly any money. But people like senior players like Gavaskar or, Bishan Bedi or Prasanna, they used to argue, fight, with the cricket board by, आप थोड़ा सा
बढ़ा दो, थोड़ा तो बढ़ा सकते हो.
fees बढ़ाओ. But they were all deaf ears. So nothing happened. But ultimately, I think in 1977-78, when the Kerry Packers started in Australia,
Okay.
that is the time, the Indian Cricket Board, they've increased the fees from 5,000 rupees to 7,500 rupees.
Wow.
And from within a year, it was 10,000. Then within another year, it was
kept on
20,000.
increasing.
It kept on. And today, if you count today, the sky is the limit, so.
That is indeed. You've seen cricket, since I said you've seen cricket evolve, over 5 decades. आपको क्या लगता है कि what are the key differences अभी का generation कैसे चल रहा है? Back then, how was it? What are the differences that you
I
see?
think they are more professionals now. The cricketers, over the last decades. I mean, they are more professionals. They are more, fitness freak, and they take the game very seriously because out of cricket they can make the career because it's like in corporate, you work, in the offices, or if you're a doctor, it's your career. If you are a lawyer, it's your career. Cricket itself is a corporate house. It's
Right.
you can make your big time career like so many of them, like Sachin Tendulkar or Rohit Sharma or
Right.
Virat Kohli. They don't need to go to the offices. They've made it all big, and there are so many other players. I've just gave you 3-4 names
Yes.
just for an example.
Yes, please.
But otherwise, the today's cricketers, they don't need to work, in some offices in Western Railway or State Bank of India
Yes,
or Tatas or Mahindras. They don't need to because
They're just playing.
yeah, because you play one season of Ranji Trophy, you get about 20-25 lakhs of rupees, and if you are playing IPL, regularly, and if you play all the matches, I mean, to start with, your the good, player, their contracts only starts from crores. So
I've seen, yeah.
they don't need to really look back, really.
So another thing talking about कि वो टाइम पे ड्रेसिंग रूम में कैसे एटमॉस्फेयर होता था बिफोर मैच इज स्टार्टिंग
Well, before the matches started, I mean, of course, they used to try and concentrate and focus, in the game. But as soon as the lunch break,
राइट
there were a lot of, the funny
हाँ
things that used to happen, like, in our dressing room, like Sandeep Patel
हाँ
was quite funny, and,
Right.
I mean, Ashok Mankad, they were all like, used to light up, the atmosphere in the dressing room. But as soon as the match starts, everybody was serious.
इन सीरियस जोन
And then as soon as the match is over, of the end of the day's play,
राइट
they used to have fun, in the dressing room, music, Hindi songs, and, हम लोग 2-2 घंटे बैठे रहते थे. Today it's not happening. Today's cricket, as soon as the match gets over, player goes to the dressing room, pick up their kit bag into the bus and back to their hotels.
room, right.
So, but when we were playing, we used to not only have fun, but do the post-mortem of the entire game. कि आज सुबह क्या हुआ, lunch के बाद क्या हुआ,
Right.
tea के बाद क्या हुआ, and we used to learn so many things from very senior players like Sunil Gavaskar or Ashok Mankad and many others. So listening to them, it was a learning process. Then, so it was beautiful. But those days we never used to have team meetings because बॉम्बे टीम का खौफ ऐसा था, सामने वाली टीम मैच स्टार्ट होने से पहले ही डर जाती थी और हार जाती थी.
हाँ I think it's still there. That is still there with
It's not as much as the earlier.
Is it? Oh.
Because I mean, of course, Bombay has won 43 times
Right.
in Ranji Trophy.
हाँ जी हाँ
But the first 35 times, Bombay dominated cricket.
wow
But after that, the Bombay cricket has gone up and down.
okay
It's not only the Bombay cricket has gone up and down because the other state, smaller state like Jharkhand, like
They've
Dhoni,
improvised.
they have improved, and they started getting more and more facilities. Like supposing Dhoni want to practice every day or training himself, he had to go to Calcutta because there were no facilities there.
infrastructure
So
and all
today, infrastructures, every small district, every state, because BCCI is funding so much of money,
right
50 crores rupees a year. So to make better environment, to make the better facilities, for the players,
correct
to make them a good grounds, stadiums, dressing rooms, gyms, swimming
is
pools, so that a practice area.
बराबर
So I think not most, but all states are using the money at the right places and for the right environment.
so I think that now infrastructure is also improving compared to it was
Oh
back
yes,
then
I think BCCI has done a great job by creating all these kind of facilities, and on top of that, they have created NCA, the National Cricket Academy, which really nurtures the youth as well as the test players.
Right.
And rehab centers, they practice training. It's not only for the boys, but even for the women's cricket team. They do the training there. They get better, in their performances. It gives a lot of like confidence when you're playing a very competitive cricket.
Correct.
And I think we have to really salute BCCI for creating such an environment and such a facilities all over the states,
Right.
which is good for the game.
So, there's this a moment I recall, I have read it, that, there was a match where, a selection match, I think, where you were just allowed to bowl two overs, I think, per match, if I'm not wrong. And you had taken 2 wickets in 2 overs. I hope I'm right here.
No. There was no condition as such.
Okay.
The one you are referring, it happened in a test match in Australia, in Melbourne.
Acha.
I got 2 wickets of Greg Chappell in both the innings. The match was same. It was a test match.
Okay.
So I got Greg Chappell out, twice. First innings as well as second innings.
Got it.
So there was no restriction as such that even today, in 2020 game, you have restriction. You can't bowl more than 4 overs.
Right. वो तो है.
So and on top of that now even T10 also has come.
Right.
तो वहाँ पर भी आप 2 ओवर से ज़्यादा नहीं डाल सकते हो.
Okay, got it.
Well, T10 has not started, as much as it happens in Dubai or it happens in Caribbean. It happens in England. But I am very sure, slowly and steadily it will come to India.
Hopefully. And also that time Nawab Sahib ka jo captaincy tha, how was that at that point of time?
I think, if you ask me personally, I played under a lot of captains. But I rate Nawab Patodi, Mansoor Ali Khan, who we used to call Tiger. Tiger was the best ever to me.
Right.
And even for Indian cricket. Otherwise, I played under Sunil Gavaskar, Venkat Raghavan, Bishan Singh Bedi. All they were good, but every captain has a different mind.
Okay.
And I think Tiger was a very, very positive captain and very result oriented.
Which is very crucial.
He wanted result. Either we win or we might lose. But
बीच में नहीं रहना.
Draw is a waste of time. 5 days, who wants to just go and watch them, doing not much.
Right.
But today's cricket has a totally different approach. And it's almost, out of 100 test matches, 85 test matches takes place by results. And if you see, very recently it happened against Bangladesh. We had no chance of winning the test match. It was almost like a draw.
Barabar.
Because 2.5 days had gone in because of the rain. But still we made it. Because that is very positive approach.
The attitude,
and
everything.
Attitude, positive approach. That we want to go for it. At least there's nothing wrong in trying. We are not about to lose. But the first 3-4 wickets, and the target was very small, 140 runs or something like that. But we had to go for it in a very small space of time. So positive approach is very important.
Along with positive approach, even mental toughness is something which is often neglected, for a sports person. वो subject कुछ ऐसे neglect कर लेते हैं. How, according to you, is mental toughness
I think, the mentally, most of the guys, are quite, solid, quite tough. Because, how you do it in the middle.
Right.
That is very important. There are many players who has a lot of confidence outside the boundary line.
हाँ जी, हाँ.
But once we reach the middle and a very important match, that is the time you got to be mentally very tough, and you must have that kind of a power and a hunger
Right.
to occupy the crease as much as you want. And if you stay there more, you get more runs.
Right.
So today's approach, everything has been taught to the academy, like in NCA, the mental toughness, your training, your body muscles has to work. See, cricket, like for fast bowlers, every the muscles of like a shoulder or a forearm or the wrist or his legs, has to be strong. Back has to be strong. And once you start bowling in the nets or once you start bowling in the matches,
Right.
your muscles must start responding you. So for everything, today's cricket is, I mean, इतना अच्छा हो गया है कि जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी में कितना तरक्की की है,
वो तो है.
उसी तरह क्रिकेट में और बाकी के स्पोर्ट्स में भी बहुत तरक्की हुई है.
वो तो है. Yes, that is the indeed. Also, since you were one of the fortunate players to play the first ever World Cup, जब आप select हुए तभी वो क्या moment क्या था, like when you found out, oh, I'm selected for the first ever cricket World Cup?
Well, of course, you feel very happy that been named amongst the 15 player to represent
Right.
India in the World Cup. So of course there were great moments.
It was a very proud
And
moment also.
I think I used to live in a chal at Matunga.
Okay.
Ruparel College,
Yes.
just next to it.
Yes. Okay.
There was a building called Sikandari building.
Oh.
So I used to live there when I was selected for World Cup. And I can tell you, at least for 4 or 5 days, celebration never stopped. Dole, Baja, Gana.
That's really sweet.
The time I left, for the airport, they all stopped.
Oh.
But उसके बाद जब हम लोग मैचेस खेले तो जिस तरह से हम लोग अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी लॉस्ट, तो जब वापस आए तो एक भी ढोल वाला नहीं था उधर. But anyway,
but it's still a very like a very
encouraging.
Yes, and very encouraging.
Yeah.
Like जब भी आप फेल होते हो या things don't work out the way you expect, that time support really matters from your parents, from your coaches.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, through even personal experience, I was a badminton player and I had to quit due to my health and all. My parents and my coach both played a very important role. They supported me.
Yeah.
But can you tell us कि कितना ज़रूरी होता है कि support एक coach से, एक parent से for the sports person?
Okay, it's all a matter of the man management. Like in team meetings, you tell everybody the same thing. Like your game plan, your match strategy and everything. But man to man, supposing you have certain liking only, not disliking.
Okay.
Like for example, today we call like Amol Mazumdar. And when I was the coach of Mumbai team in Ranji Trophy, he was a youngster. He made his debut in Faridabad versus Haryana.
Okay.
So when somebody is new, it's your job to inspire him, give him a talk, and make him relax, easy. He नए खिलाड़ी होते हैं, नई चीजें होती है, तो naturally you tend to get a little tensed. But see, to open them out, it is your job.
Right.
And the coaches, the managers, they play a very important part in their career. So, like see, Indian cricket team doesn't need coaching really. It's a man management.
Right.
Right from the time John Wright was there. After that, Ravi Shastri came in. Then Rahul Dravid. Today we have Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir doesn't need to tell them how to hold the cricket bat,
Right.
or how to bowl, or how to catch. Everybody knows. That's why they've reached there.
वो तो है. Right.
It's a matter of just a bit of somebody is going down or not performing, to to inspire them, to give, to boost up his energy and the confidence. It is the coaches, managers, the captains. It's their job, and they all help each other.
Right.
And that is why India team is doing extremely well.
And like, if you have to tell the youngsters something who are just budding talents and they want to, like, from a legend like you, getting something कि कैसे करना चाहिए, क्या attitude carry करना चाहिए, what do you want to tell those young budding sports persons?
Well, to start with or to begin with, see, every sports required a lot of hard work, discipline, and if they're really focused, they can go the next level.
Right.
But if some players, for the sake of just playing, they are wasting their time. So whenever I meet a lot of youngsters, they go to the coaching centers and all that, I always tell them that if you're keen to play cricket, then be focused.
Right.
Give your 100%. Be disciplined, and try and learn the things you're making mistake where the coaches will identify that this is the where you are going wrong.
Right.
So try and cover those things. Try and improve those things, or if you can't, just leave the ball alone. Let it go. But you don't need to get out. And see, getting out in the matches, it gives only one chance. So you have to wait for the next inning.
That is them. And like, can you share with us that कि आप जब भी मैच खेलने जाते हो या आप अपना पहला बॉल डालते थे, आपके दिमाग में क्या चलता था तभी?
हमारे सारे बॉलर से दिमाग में तो यही होता है कि मैं विकेट लूँ. But every time the wickets are not, it is not possible unless the batsman plays a bad shot or something like that, or you bowl a beautiful delivery. And you beat the batsman, get him out, caught behind, or in the slips, or the LBW, or the clean ball. So, see, for a bowler, the line and length, accuracy, and keep it tight, all the time. Let the batsman make mistakes. And if you set your field right, you can't go wrong. But accuracy is very important.
Thank you so much, sir. You have actually told me so much about cricket. मेरा भी knowledge बढ़ गया cricket की वजह से. I'm really grateful to have you today on my episode. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you very much, and all the very best.
Yes, thank you.
In your future ventures, whatever you do, do the best.
Yes, thank you so
and
much.
confidently.
Really appreciate it.